about something, and then something else. This media job you do, you come in planning to talk about something, and then something else just completely takes over. We were supposed to be celebrating a new milestone for the Nigerian Stock Exchange as far as the all-share index. But then this Gabon matter just came literally 2 minutes before we go on air. So, I suppose we can just touch on that for a moment before we get to stocks, because Africa is, I don't know, there's something going on,
Okay, so take us through this, because it seemed like, and we hear some group of jackbooted and khaki people are somewhere around the State House, and this is coming on the heels of an election that was supposed to have put in a man whose family has been in charge of that country for over decades now. Talk to us about this, Rotus.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, a coup has just been declared in Gabon. The military officers, some senior military officers there, have said that the elections that took place over the weekend were not credible. I think the party is called PNG or something. It's led by Ali Bongo, who took over from his father. He's been in power now since Barack Obama took office back in 2000. Okay, Obama took office 2000. What? Obama won 2008. So 2009 is when Bongo come in. His father has been in office for like 40-something years, since about 1982, I think. So elections in Gabon in 2016 were very controversial. They were not considered, he won a second term in 2016. They were not considered credible, but, he's still stuck in. They made some reforms in January of this year as far as the number of rounds of voting for presidential and parliamentary and so on. But it looks like he's won a third term, and essentially the military is saying that no, this election is a sham. They've closed the borders, they've dissolved the presidency. They say they've taken over, and coming off the heels of what happened in Niger. Although I don't believe Gabon is a member of ECOWAS. I don't think they are. I'll check, but Gabon is not a member of ECOWAS, but still, it's an issue, even though elections are not credible on the one hand. So there's so many things to this, elections are not credible, yes, and we have a lot of issues with these things across Africa, but I don't know how that justifies a military coup. And these things are happening, you have to wonder where else this is going to take place. I planned on going to Gabon for holidays because they've got nice forests, nice beaches, and so on and so forth. So I was going to go and, get foreign exchange and go there and contribute to the economy because of tourism. But now I'm not going anywhere.
No, you were going to spend our money in Gabon. That's what you should say.
I need to rest, Thomas.
Yes,
I don't have money to go to America or Europe because the exchange rate is too high. So I decided to travel around. So this is just really sad. And, this is another headache now for the African Union, for, the region. Gabon is not far from us at all. They are, West Africa here. So, and their economy, I think, is mostly dependent on oil. They are blessed with natural resources. So it's about a small population, though, only about 2-3 million people. So it's not very big. But, again, this is just another wahala for the African continent.
Let's look at now. You touched in relating to what you plan to do. You've already touched on the business aspect of it, which you are really focusing on right now. So what's the implication for tourism, as you've mentioned already, with this change of government, if it stays?
Yeah, so they've shut down the borders, right? So now you have to think about flights that are, they haven't closed the airspace, but they've shut down the borders, so nobody can go in and out. That's going to impact business if you sell food there, markets, and so on. I think they border Cameroon, and I have to remember which other countries they are close to as far as where they are bordered. But movement of goods and services is now shut down. Today is a Wednesday, so it's right in the middle of the week.
Yes.
So that's going to impact food prices. It's going to impact people like me that were planning on traveling there are going to say, no, I'm not going anymore until the situation is resolved. So it's not good for in the immediate term. Probably see prices of goods, spiking. People, they've shut down the businesses are closed down. People are afraid. So, this is yet you probably hear now within the next few hours, you're going to hear from President Tinubu, you will hear from President Biden and his people. Everybody's now going to be reacting to this. So it's an unfolding situation in real time as we're speaking. So, it's just pretty sad, I have to say.
Just to put Gabon in perspective, it is in the Central Africa Republic.
Yep.
The capital, I think Libreville is what's the capital. That's what it is. So that's just, but let's also look at why is Africa, when other parts of the world are making strides, for example, India has just beat the rest of the world to land in the southern part of the moon. Africa yet remains a major source of sleepless night for the rest of the world in terms of regime change and most times less positive things to report about. Let's face it.
It's a sad historical narrative for parts of the continent. There's a lot of us have had an ugly history from the colonial times to when we've tried to rule ourselves. And sadly, you've just had a number of individuals who feel that a country is their personal kingdom, like the Bongo family, right? That's the, and they each have their own, each country has its own context, right? For this man to have led, I mean, he passed away in 2008, 2009, but he led for 40-something years. Now his son took over. You're treating the country as your own personal family dynasty, right? And the 2016 elections were not credible, generally considered to not be credible, but they let it slide. He ruled, and now he wants to win a third term in office after his father led for 40-something years. So it's just not a pretty picture, and look, it's indifferent. Look at Rwanda. Rwanda is doing very well, but Kagame has been in office now for how many years now, right? And I guess people there seem to like it. So each country has its own. Paul Biya, look at Paul Biya in Cameroon. That man, he doesn't even live. He's so old. He can't move.
He's overseas. The last time I checked, yeah. It's not even on ground.
That doesn't even live there. So all these things deter investment. All these things make people, not want to visit these countries. There are people. There's a lot of high poverty in Gabon. There's poverty in Cameroon. It's just democracy needs to thrive. Although some would argue that maybe Western democracy doesn't work in certain areas, but people need to be allowed to make their choice, and leaders need to be recycled. You've got to give a room for fresh ideas so that your economy can grow. You have to allow for fresh ideas and for new people to come in.
To even compound this, finally, it seemed the man has been battling health challenges and he has been in and out of office with partially battling stroke and the rest of it, and yet you still want to continue.
That's Paul Biya?
No, the man Ali Bongo. The man.
Okay, Bongo. Yeah. So yeah. Look, that's the thing. Regardless of their health status and so on, they just want, because this is the thing, when you hold on to power for that long, you have access to state resources, right? It breeds corruption, right? Look, till today, Nigeria is still getting Abacha loots. I mean, that man looted us to the heavens. So these are the issues that we're facing now. Whether or not a coup is the answer in the climate that we're in, of course, I'm just, I don't know if I should be surprised, but it's just not. It's not a good story for us at all. And now you have to start looking left and right now as to where the next unsettling military uprising might happen. It's not good for business at the end of the day. It really is not.
Okay, well, Rotus, it's time to move on away from some sad issues and let's do business. And as they say, if you see your neighbor's beard on fire, it is time to bring water to tap your own just in case. Rotus, this morning, give us some good news. Nigerian equities beat 15-year record to hit all-time high. How did this happen?
Yes. Let's talk about making money. Let's talk about our stock exchange. Stock exchange has been on fire. The last time we were at this margin, I think, was in 2008. The all share index hitting about let me see now, 66,371.2. That was in 2008. So yesterday we crossed 66,000 490 points. It just means that they were making more and more gains on the exchange. So far this year, the market is up 29.7%. So if we get another gain today, we're up 30% year to date. So, yeah, stocks doing well. Look, you want to diversify. I'm not saying everybody should just jump into the stock market, put some money here and there. But yeah, that's essentially that's some good news to at least to discuss.
Okay, and then just also help us link this up before we move in. We're still exploring that, but of course, yesterday Tony Elumelu was in Aso Rock to see the president, and he also expressed confidence in the ability and the policy so far. And then with this news also breaking, I'd like you to, is there a connection somewhere, knowing it's a leading light in the business community?
Yeah, so if you look at downstream oil and gas stocks, that is companies like, Total, MRS Oil, and so on, companies that own fuel stations and sell fuel, removing fuel subsidies increase their profit margins, at least on the downstream side, allowing them to be able to sell derivatives of crude oil at higher prices like fuel, right? Now, even though, there's two sides to this. There's the people who are buying them, but then if you're a shareholder and you own stocks in these companies, then you've made a lot of money. So it's part of the reforms. Also collapsing the windows at the I&E window, trying to get the true value of the Naira, even though that's made it spike, but still it gives investors more clarity as to the currency management, and also saying that Nigeria is serious about reform. So if you can tie that to the stock market with investors saying, okay, these are good news, and then there's upside to stock. So that's how to see it, at least from that angle, with what Tony Elumelu was saying.
Well said, Rotus. The messages will definitely come, so I know you're expecting them. I've got Tayo sent in a message here saying Bia doesn't even reacting to the news of the coup in Gabon now. Bia doesn't even stay in Cameroon. And did you see the video of his 40th year as the president? Funny African leaders everywhere. Sensible parents leave behind good name for their family to inherit, but some African leaders will use their constitution to maneuver a whole country as your personal property. And Rotus, I don't know why Ali is laughing. He is laughing at this one, but then he says, if you see your neighbor's beard on fire, it is time to tap your own with water. Oh, no, this one enter. But moving away from that.
Was really, Omas, I don't know where you get these sayings from. They're really good.
So comes Gary Newton. Of what value is considering the Naira state? Good morning. That's Gary Newton now.
Of what value is what?
Of what value is that to the Naira in terms of reaction of the market and the rising to that level?
Yeah, look, I always tell people that you can't put all your money in Nigeria, diversify. I've been consistent for years telling people that foreign exchange, you need to hold some FX cash. You also need to consider investing in money market and fixed income instruments overseas. There are many Nigerian brokerage services that give you that option. So while the Naira is maybe losing value, look, what are you going to do? Are you going to put your money under a mattress? You still have to keep it in a savings account, a certificate of deposit, buy stocks, buy bonds, buy money market, and then also to preserve your own purchasing power, invest in stuff overseas so that you can maintain some kind of balance.
Well, Rotus, a message is here as we wrap up now. Yinka Bolu on the coup wave, all the best to those involved. And I saw one earlier on talking about India's issue.
Landing on the moon.
Landing on the moon. And he says, okay, the final message now. Now, Gabon is joined the line. Ex-US President Barack Obama once told African leaders in 2015 that they are the problems in Africa. And Omar, as for the question as regards India landing on the south part of the moon, it simply shows the world has grown old and Africa is dwindling instead of growing along with the side, with the world. That's what Tochukwu Sunday says. Rotus is the size of the show this morning.
Omar, thank you so much. Really appreciate you. And look, we just have pray for Africa. And we'll see how things work out. This is a developing story.
Who knows, maybe now you might decide to go to Budukatu Ranch. I'm just saying, but it's still...
I might stay here. I might just stay here because I don't want to go and end up somewhere where there's a coup. Let me just stay at home.
Rotus, have a great day, Rotus. Bye.
Thanks. See you guys tomorrow.
And that's the size of the show this morning. My name is Omatseye Atsenuwa. Good morning.